Hey guys, Zach here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Rodan. Now, of course, this version of Rodan comes from the 2019 film Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I've reviewed on this channel, but in case you don't want to go back and find that video and you just, for convenience sake, want to know my thoughts briefly, I thought it was good. I get that some people really don't like this movie, and to be honest, I can kind of understand why. There are some things about this movie that I don't really like as well, but for the most part, I still think that Godzilla King of the Monsters is a very good movie, so yeah. Anyway, with all that out of the way, before we take a look at Rodan himself, we'll take a quick look at his accessories. Just going to put him down right there for a second. And first of all, we have an alternate headpiece, which is honestly something you don't really see in a lot of Godzilla figures nowadays. Usually it's like a hinge or ball joint at the jaw. Some Godzilla figures have done this before in the past, but not a lot, and it's kind of cool to see here again. Of course, the reason why they did this is because Rodan's head is very small, so they can't really have like a hinge joint because that'd be too weak, so they just decided, you know what, it'd be easier if we just had an alternate headpiece, because the alternate head is, you know, just has an open mouth, where this one, the mouth is closed. So, yeah. And the painting on the head here is very nice. Most of the head is like this charcoal, blackish, brownish color, which does look nice. The inside of the mouth is painted a glossy black, which, again, looks very nice. And we do have bits of red between all of the cracks and crevices and whatnot, which, again, looks very nice. And we'll see this later when we talk about the figure's paint in depth, but it actually kind of reminds me of Shin Godzilla. Now, really quick, I want to talk about the eyes here, because the eyes are very good. When my camera focuses, as you can see, the eyes on this figure are not that bad at all. They're not too big, they're not too small. They're not, you know, cross-eyed or anything like that. The eyes here are painted very normally, very small, so it might be a little hard to kind of see on camera, though I'm really trying to show you guys how the eyes look. But yeah, in person the eyes look very good, and that's something that the 2019 Godzilla could not achieve, unfortunately, because the eyes very big, very bulgy, very cross-eyed, and yeah, the eyes on this figure are not good whatsoever. So it's great to see that NECA, you know, tried with the eyes here, so yay for that. And if you want to attach the other head, all you have to do is just pull that off, though do be careful because this figure is actually very fragile. So yeah, be very careful. Don't handle this like a caveman. Don't be too gentle, but don't be too rough either. But basically, very simple. Wait, no, that's the other head. Just plug that in like so, and there you go. And that's pretty much it for the alternate head. Just gonna put the other head back on just for the sake of this review, because this is how it is in the box. So yeah, just gonna put Rodan back down. And of course, Rodan is a pterosaur, which means, you know, he has to fly. And this figure does come with a stand. A couple pieces of the stand, which honestly I really like this stand. It's a bit bigger than I thought it'd be, but again, it still looks very nice. First of all, we have this little pole here, which there's not a lot to it, though I wish they designed it a little differently. So I'm just going to straighten out his legs right here. And basically what you want to do is you want to make sure this little shark fin thing right here is just poking forward. And you just want to rest, whoops, sorry about that. Really quick, the wings on Rodan here are very loose, so throughout this review I might, you know, be trying to fiddle around with that. So do, you know, be mindful of that, because the wings here are very loose. But anyway, this basically sits right there, and now Rodan can fly. You do kind of have to play with it a little, but once you get it there, you know, everything is very good. But again, it does take a little bit of playing with. So yeah, but once you get it on, he sits on there very well. Though it would have been nice if there's just a little something to kind of support the wings, so that way they don't really, you know, flop over like so over time, because the wings, as I just stated, they're not, you know, super stable. So if there's just something to, like, you know, keep them from falling over, I feel like that would have been very nice. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for the rod here. Let me just move that. Alright, Now for the explosion bit, and I really like how this looks. The painting here looks very nice. There are some spots where it doesn't look the best, mainly right there. There's just like a red line going through, but for the most part, the painting here, very nice. And something I really like, this piece is made out of a transparent piece of plastic, so you can kind of replicate, like, you know, if you have like a light underneath it, you could like give it more of that like fiery look, which again looks nice. I don't have any lights on me, so I can't really show that off, but yeah. The sculpting looks very nice, looks, well, a lot like an explosion, so that's always a good thing. And yeah, the sculpting's great, and of course the detailing here is very nice as well. The bits of smoke on top right here are detailed very nicely, and all the fiery bits underneath, again, look great. And of course there's a little hole there, so what you want to do is you just want to plug that in like so. And you want to make sure that this flat bit right here for the hole is facing downwards, so that this little shark fin piece right here can go forward like so. So yeah, we're almost done with the base. Though something I really don't like, the base isn't really sticking up straight, it's like at an angle, which doesn't really look good. I don't know if this is just mine, but yeah, I really don't like how this looks, but that's just me. Anyway, now for the final piece itself. The very top of the volcano that Rodan emerges from. And I gotta say, I really like this. There are some problems with mine in particular, but for the most part, this looks very nice. The painting here looks very nice. All the brown and all the black withering throughout for the top of the volcano is very nicely painted. And of course, all the buildings here are painted like a, kind of like a grayish color. It does look nice. And something I also really like, for this building, or this part of the building right here, there's almost like that dusty effect, so you almost have like pieces of like ash coming from it, or not coming from it, but like kind of like getting onto it, which looks very nice. But yeah, no, the painting here is very nice. The sculpting, again, looks really good, though for some reason on mine, the building here kind of broke, so now it's just kind of leaning. This bothered me at first, but then I kind of used my imagination to where, like, maybe when Rodan was emerging, this got knocked over or something. I don't know. Though, it would have been nice if this was sticking straight up, because this building's sticking straight up, but not so much this one, unfortunately. But other than that, the sculpting here is very nice. And of course, the detailing here, again, looks great. All of the rock detailing for the top of the volcano here looks very nice. And the buildings are detailed very nicely as well. And if we take a look at the peg here, we can see that we have kind of like that smiley shape we've seen before with the explosion bit. So what you want to do is you just want to line that up so that way, you know, this looks like it's smiling and so does this. And you just want to plug that in, but you can also tell because this part of the explosion here kind of fits very well with this building here. So all you have to do is just plug that in like so. A little tight, but once you get it in, it's nice and firm, so yeah. So now you have the base here. And really quick, let's show off Rodan flying. So, yeah, just really quick, I just want to kind of set this up just to show you. And there you go. He's at a bit of an angle. You can adjust it to where, you know, he's not so much at an angle, which I'll try to do right now. But, oops, I didn't mean to bump that. But, yeah, no, Rodan looks very nice flying. So, yeah, the base itself is very nice. But now for the real reason why you people came to this video. Rodan himself. And the painting on Rodan is very nice. Everything here is painted very nicely. The head, mainly with the red, looks a little sloppy, but for the most part, everything looks very nice. Most of Rodan is this charcoal, blackish, brownish color, which does look very nice and very accurate to Godzilla King of the Monsters. And we do have some bits of red between all of the detailing, which looks nice. And something that I haven't really heard a lot of people bring up, this kind of reminds me of Shin Godzilla, so I guess you could kind of call this Shin Rodan? No? Okay, just me. But, yeah, no, the painting here is very nice, and at the edge of the wings here, we do have more of that reddish paint, which looks very nice. And also, for some reason, there are these little yellow spots where I get what they're trying to do here, but I don't really like how that looks. I feel like this figure would have been much better without him. But, yeah. Either way, that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. well, not really paint, but this figure is made of like a hard plastic, so if you had like a light, I don't know if you could see like the bottom corner there, but like I'm holding the wing against the light right now, and it almost looks like it's like, you know, glowing. So if you do have lights and you want to like have that like underneath the wings or, you know, above him to make it look like he's glowing, then you can do that. So I don't know if you can notice that, but yeah, I really like that. I guess that's why the wings are made of like a hard plastic, which I'll talk about in a second, but yeah, the painting on this figure still is very nice. So the painting definitely gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation is good, but I do have some minor complaints. So basically, we have a ball joint at the head, ball joint at the neck. Can't really look up that much, but he can look down pretty far, which is nice. The wings can move backwards that much and downwards that much, and again, the wings are very loose, so yeah. If the wings weren't this flimsy, I feel like this would be a much better figure, but unfortunately the wings are kind of a problem, so yeah. And the center of the wings right here, the can pretty much fold in, and something I really like, I like how the hand moves as well. Very dinosaur-like. I really like that a lot, so yeah. Unfortunately, on this wing, we do have some clearance, so you can kind of move it without scuffing against the, you know, having the two pieces scuff against each other, but there's not a lot of clearance here, so you can kind of hear them grinding against each other, so I wouldn't recommend doing this too much. And of course, the legs here are on ball joints. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. The articulation on this figure is very nice. Nothing crazy, but for the most part, the articulation still looks very nice. I will admit, again, the wings, if they were tighter, then that'd be much better, but yeah, the articulation is still good, so the articulation gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure is very good, but it's not one-to-one with Godzilla King of the Monsters. In the movie, Rodan was a little more beefier than this, but, you know, this still looks very nice. And really quick, the SH Monster Arts Rodan, that's coming out for King of the Monsters, or when I'm recording this, it's not out yet, but when I upload this, it probably will be, but that figure looks more screen accurate in terms of sculpt, but, you know, this still looks nice either way. So the sculpting here is still nice, so it gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is really good. I just want to start off with the wings here. The wings are detailed beautifully. Everything here is very well defined, very well sculpted, and yeah, the detailing is very nice. I really like how the wings look. And even the back here. The back here is detailed very nicely as well. Very well defined. And also the front of the body here, again, looks very nice. And the legs are detailed very nicely as well. Something I didn't really point out when I talked about the sculpt, I do apologize for forgetting to bring that up, but I feel like the legs are in kind of like a weird pose, or kind of like close together. And if they were more like spread out like that, then I feel like it would look a little better, but yeah. They don't bother me, it's just a minor nitpick I have. But anyway, the detailing on the head here is detailed, well, very nicely. Everything here is very well defined. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure is very good, so the detailing definitely gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, this is honestly a really good figure. There are some things where I wish they could have done something a little differently, oops, but for the most part, I'd say that the detailing here and, you know, everything about this figure is very nice. So, if you want this figure, definitely pick it up. This figure costed me about $30, which I remember when NECA figures used to be like $20. I remember 2014 when that figure came out, that was just like $19.99. But now the prices have kind of gone up a little, which honestly I don't really mind too much, because, you know, the more expensive a figure it is, the higher quality it is. Well, not all the time, but, you know, usually. So, you know, higher prices, I guess, is a good thing. Not so much for your wallet, but yeah, but just because I can. Here are the other Godzilla King of the Monsters NECA figures. And this is how I'd rate them. Mothra is my favorite, Rodan is my second favorite, but Godzilla here is my least favorite. Again, he's not a bad figure by any means. Godzilla here is really good, but, this figure just has a lot of QC issues, and unfortunately, at least on mine, it really takes away, so yeah. And yeah, here they all are. We are getting a repaint of this Godzilla right here, so yeah, I won't be picking that up. Actually, we're getting 2 repaints of this figure, an Atomic Blast variant and a Critical Mass variant. And again, I'm not picking up those. I'm pretty much all set with all 3 of these. Again, a King Ghidorah would have been nice to go along with these, but, you know, whatever. And it's honestly really nice to see other monsters in the Godzilla franchise in the NECA toy line, so yeah. Again, if they wanted to do more, that'd be great. Maybe like a Showa Rodan or like a Heisei Mothra or, you know, Anguirus. I know I said that before, but just, you know, throwing that out there. Show my boy a little bit of love, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. These are pretty much all of the NECA Godzilla 2019 figures, at least for the King of the Monsters line, so yeah. So, in case you're curious how big all of these figures are together, here they all are with Dr. Billy Grant. And besides Dr. Billy Grant, just taking him out of the picture, I feel like these figures scale up very nicely together, and everything here looks very accurate, so yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zek out.